Today, we're diving into one of the most underrated high-level strategies that recreational players rarely use, but anyone can deploy it once they know how, and it can completely transform your game. It's called hitting behind your opponent. The idea is simple, but most players are so focused on hitting to the open court that they miss this golden opportunity to catch their opponents off guard. Let's dive right in. Imagine you're playing against somebody who's super fast, has great defense, and loves running everything down. And you're playing through a point, and eventually you get that player on the run in a stressful situation, and as they play defense, and they start moving back into the court again, at this moment right here, you have a decision to make as you're getting ready to hit this shot. The obvious target, and I want to be very clear, this is not wrong. It's not wrong to hit to the open court, but this is what everybody focuses on. And it's obvious because our opponent over here is completely off the court. We have a big wide open target, but here's the thing. Against somebody who's super fast, has great anticipation, and has great defensive skills, this might play perfectly into their strategy. So what hitting behind our opponent simply means is that instead of picking this target, as our opponent starts to run across the baseline in anticipation of going to the open court, instead we're hitting to this target, which is behind them. It's behind them because Daniil here is running in this direction, and so hitting in this direction is hitting the ball behind the direction that he's guessing the ball is going to go. Now, against somebody who's not fast, who doesn't anticipate, and who doesn't have great defensive skills, you should probably just keep hitting to the open court. But against somebody who does have all three of those abilities, starting to go behind them is really, really smart and next level thinking. By the way, if you don't know exactly how to differentiate between hitting here and hitting here, just stick around and I'll make sure that you get the coaching you need to be able to hit in both directions super easily. Let's dive a little bit deeper beneath the surface because there's three more layers of nuance and strategy to this. Here's the reason why this is so important. The reason why is after this shot that Sinner hits, that hits off the net cord and lands short, as Daniil moves in to attack, he can easily pick either target. And Jannik here decides to just wait in the middle and take his chances being able to recover a shot that's hit hard either to this corner or this corner. He doesn't know for sure which one is coming. So if he just split steps right in the middle as Daniil hits this attacking shot, the downside of approaching it this way is Daniil could easily hit a winner to this target or this target because he has the weaponry to be able to do it. So as you play stronger and stronger opponents who have more and more weapons, and as they have more ability to hit the ball hard and precise to a target and finish a point, it starts to become necessary to anticipate and guess a little bit, make an educated guess about what direction the ball is going. Otherwise, this is going to happen a lot. You're going to put yourself right in the middle, and your opponent's just going to hit a winner anyway because they have the weapons to be able to do it. So this is why professional players, and as you get stronger and stronger on the court and you play better and better opponents, start to have to make some kind of guess, which opens the door to be able to hit behind your opponent once they start doing that. Another tool you need in your toolbox to be able to beat those pesky players that run everything down back and forth is to be able to hit your forehand with solid power without missing and making a lot of errors. And that's exactly what you'll learn when you go to forehandpower.com. I'll show you my favorite drills to add 15 miles per hour to your forehand in just 15 minutes of practice without making more errors. It's totally free training, so go sign up for it at forehandpower.com. Let's take a look at a guess in action because this is something that you should start implementing against opponents who have great weapons. Sinner just hit a great serve that jams up Daniil. Daniil just blocks the ball back, short sitter just kind of sitting in the middle of the court. Sinner comes in to attack, and at this point right here, it's critical to understand that Sinner has the weaponry and the precision to hit a winner easily in either direction. So rather than Daniil just stay here right in the center, watch the timing of how he starts sliding to his left, and it's right as Jannik starts to unwind his body. This is super important. Once Jannik begins, once he initiates the unwinding of his body, he's picked a timing for his swing, which means he's picked a target for his shot. So Daniil is picking that little window of time to start preemptively guessing in a direction, and this is just an educated guess. This is layer one here in this whole cat and mouse game, is starting to take note. Does my opponent prefer to go inside in, or do they prefer going inside out? You're never going to get it right every time, but if you can just get a 5% edge or a 10% edge and start to jump in the right direction a little bit before they hit, it puts additional pressure on your opponent, forces them to have to try to hit a better shot, which we'll look at in just a second. So again, notice the timing here, forward swing, and Daniil is syncing his movement out to the side with that forward swing to hopefully be able to have an opportunity to get the ball, because if he just stood in the middle, he would lose in either direction. So it's okay to guess and be wrong, but as you play better and better opponents who have bigger and bigger weapons, you do have to start guessing. Here's a bunch of examples of exactly what hitting behind your opponent looks like in real life. At high levels of the game, this is happening constantly. There's this cat and mouse tug of war game that's happening between one person attacking and the other person trying to anticipate and put themselves in the right place at the right time to be able to stay in the point and have a better chance of winning. In each of these examples, one player or the other made an educated guess in one direction, or they were in the process of recovering back towards the middle where they know they should be for the next shot, and their opponent hit in the opposite direction, wrong-footed them, and effectively hit behind them. Now, here's the good news. There is an antidote to this, and it's the next layer deeper in this high-level strategy, and it's super fun. Let me show you exactly what it is. Layer one to this game within the game is to start to make an educated guess right or left when your opponent is attacking really well. Layer two is your opponent will start to hit behind you when you start to successfully guess and they recognize that you're taking away some of their attacking shots. Now here's layer three. This is where things start getting really fun. Daniil serves an excellent shot out wide, pulls center off the court. And now we're in basically an identical situation here as what we saw at the beginning of the lesson, where both players obviously recognize that there's a wide open opportunity here for Daniil to hit a winner in this direction. And so initially, watch how Sinner looks like he's running across the baseline to go cover that. And then watch how he puts the brakes on right here just before Daniil hits the ball, because he's guessing that Daniil is guessing that he's going to go cover that wide open court, but instead Sinner puts the brakes on, stops his momentum, and then pushes back in the other direction to be able to make a play at this shot in this direction. And now all of a sudden the tables have totally turned. All of a sudden Sinner, of course, he's not in an easy position here, but he's got his racket on the ball. That's already a big win, and he's got a wide open court down the line. Now, Sinner doesn't win this point, but can you see how starting to play both sides of it and go this, third layer down, now we can start to give ourselves a really exciting opportunity to essentially steal a point from our opponent that had us dead to rights and had the opportunity to hit a winner in multiple directions, but because of this sneaky strategy of guessing and now making a secondary move, we can put ourselves in position to win points that we really had no business winning. Here's another really fun example of layer three of this cat and mouse game. So Sinner hits a drop shot, Daniil pulls forwards, he barely gets to the ball, and now super similar setup here again, right? Where there's an obvious open chunk of court here, inside out, as Sinner runs forwards to hit a forehand here, and initially Daniil looks like he's gonna run over there to go cover it. But then, just like Sinner, watch how he stops right here, right before Sinner pulls forwards to hit the ball, and just camps himself right here. So he's completely leaving this side of the court open. Again, he's just making an educated guess here that Sinner knows that he knows that the court is wide open, and he begins to run in that direction, but then right before the forward swing stops. This is called staying home. Rather than running across to the obvious target, he's making a move like he's going to cover it, then stays home and just camps himself right here. And right before hitting the ball, Sinner recognizes, oh shoot, the side of the court I thought was going to be open is not open. And in an attempt to go around Daniil, he ends up missing. And this is incredible. You have to understand, this is so satisfying when you can pull this off against your opponents and you're in a situation or scenario where there's no way you should have won the point. And then because of this game within the game, you can give yourself all of a sudden the upper hand, turn the tables, and just steal points from your opponents. It's incredibly satisfying when you start to pull it off.
No, Vesper, don't bet! Ah! No.
Fool you!
So layer one is start to guess when your opponent is hitting great offensive shots. Layer two is start to hit behind your opponent if they start to guess against you. Layer three is start to fake that you're going to go cover the open court, but then stay home and take the ball when they hit it right to you. Layer four, if you keep faking and they catch on to it and they just start hitting to the open court again, then you can start running across the baseline again. And it goes around and around and it keeps going back and forth. And this is what makes tennis so fun. It's like chess on the court. You're trying to think one step ahead. But unfortunately, most players just see the open court. They just hit to the open court because it feels like the obvious shot. And this is part of the reason why pushers, retrievers, defensive players are so frustrating, because they know where you're going to hit and they don't mind running back. Like they love it. They like it. So start going down this checklist. All 4 layers are available to you. And if you start deploying them, then you're going to have more fun and you're going to win more points and you're going to win more matches. Okay, I promised you, if you don't know how to hit in both directions, click the lesson that's on the screen right now, and I'll show you step by step how to be super precise with both your forehand and your backhand, hitting cross court, down the line, inside in, inside out, so that you can actually deploy this. Have fun with it. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you again next time.